Right then, something a little bit different for you today. United are playing in the FA Youth Cup tomorrow against Everton, and that's what I'm going to be bringing a little bit of a preview about now. And we're going to bring a preview by really focusing on one player as a little bit of a means to kind of bring that through. So it is United against Everton in the 5th round of the FA Youth Cup. The game's at 7 o'clock. You can go and watch it at Old Trafford if you wish tomorrow night. And the FA Youth Cup has got a big special connection with Manchester United. Obviously, we basically dominated that entire competition from its inception with the Busby Babes. And then since then, we've never really had any sort of major long-term success in it. Latterly, Manchester City and Chelsea have kind of shared the trophy between themselves, and it hasn't necessarily led to any long-term sustained sort of progression into the first team for either of those two sides. Both of them are producing players, but mainly producing players for other people. United are still the number one when it comes to producing players for our own first team that eventually go on and produce international footballers. But I think there's still a desire to do well across the club in the FA Youth Cup. And drawing Everton in the 5th round is a tricky tie, but it's a winnable tie for Manchester United. Currently, United are 7th. We've got 4 games in hand on City, who sit top. If we win all our games in hand, we'll come in at 2nd place. So it's not a million miles away from us, but you do have to win those games in hand to be able to do that. So an opportunity here for silverware, perhaps, because we're probably not going to get the league title, I wouldn't have thought, at this stage. And the FA Youth Cup, for me, is a big thing. Obviously, the class of 92 that came through, that did well with it. But we've had other successes in there too. And the 2011 side represents probably one of the last major classes that came through for Manchester United. In that side, you had some sensational players. Paul Pogba, Ravel Morrison were the main standouts. Ryan Tunnicliffe, Jesse Lingard was part of that. Will Keane was part of that. Michael Keane was part of that. Tom Thorpe. That was really the last era that I think where a huge chunk of them sort of all came through at once. And the kid I want to focus on this time is Charile McNeill. Now, I think he's the player that can take a group of players and turn them into a team that actually wins something. He's been on the scene publicly for a little bit because he was a reported £750,000 transfer from Manchester City just over a year ago. And he's done nothing but turn heads since he arrived at Old Trafford. Now, he's a United fan. He's from a big United supporting family. He just got the opportunity to join Manchester City as a youngster. He's a Droylsden boy, which obviously means I just want him to succeed. We need more Droylsden in the first team. In 2018, he signed a 6-year deal with Adidas that could see him net over £1 million, which is frankly ridiculous for a person of that age. In the first season with United, he scored 24 in 21 appearances in the under-18s, and he's settling in better than anyone could have possibly hoped for. There was rumours that he scored something like 600 goals while he was at Manchester City. I don't know how many of them are legit competitions and how many of them are a little bit Pelly-ish. The bottom line is the guy knows where the net is. And that's all he's ever done. He just scores goals. But he's also a great technical footballer. He's got electric pace. He is obviously a lethal finisher off his right and his left foot, which is something. And being known for the goal scorer that he is, one of the best attributes, I think, is his vision and his passing ability. Something that I think he don't really get a lot of plaudits for. His hold-up play, his link play is sensational. Partnered with Hugo up front as well is a real deadly partnership that give United a problem. You have to play 2 up front because you've got 2 6 strikers, and they've had to do that. And figuring out which one you're going to mark is a nightmare for teams that they come up against. He's certainly got the ability and the potential to grow into someone that is ready for the next level once his body matures, because he's still quite on the underdeveloped kind of side at the moment. Last season, 24 goals and 6 assists in 21 games, 30 goal contributions in 21. You haven't seen these sorts of numbers since Mason Greenwood broke through. This season, he's got 7 goals, 1 assist in 19 games, and that's across the 21s, 23s, and under 19s. This current crop of under 18s seems to lack the sort of star quality that some previous teams sort of had. 4 or 5 years ago, he was looking at the likes of Angel Gomez, Tim Fosu Mensah, Axel Tuanzebe, just glittering teams. Callum Gribbin, teams that had such star quality. And even you fast forward a few years, just a few years ago even, you had the likes of Chong and Garner and Levitt all playing in the same team. This current crop of under-18s hasn't quite captured the imagination in the same way that those teams has, except for McNeill. And there's some other good players in the mixer as well. But I think McNeill is the leading light in this one. And I think if he really shines this season and has himself a good cup run, he could be the difference between United lifting this trophy and failing to build on that success again. United are one of the most successful teams in the competition. We've won it on 10 occasions, retained it, I think, for 5 consecutive seasons when it first was inducted. The last win being in 2011. It's been a long time since we featured in a final, let alone won a thing. So it's about time that United shake off that and actually start picking up some trophies. Like I said before, the lack of the silverware hasn't halted players coming through, but I don't think it hurts to have a bit of a winning mentality in the competition. Anyway, Charile McNeill, definitely the one to be watching out for in tomorrow's game. But have a watch of the game, let me know. Might do a review after it and see how it goes. See you in a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.